Tragedy has occurred! Welcome back, lads and lassies. My name's Josh, and back with Darling the Franxx. Last episode, we started off so wholesome. It was so sweet. We've been on this kick of these cooldown episodes. I was gonna say filler, but it's not really filler. It's more cooldown-ish because we had like this gigantic, crazy arc. Now we're cooling down, seeing where the characters are going. And Mitsuru and Kokudo, they got together. They're gonna get married. Then M9, I assume that's his name. For the comment, if comments are going, no, his name's actually. This is very pre-recorded. I'm just binging it because I'm loving the series right now. I really want to see, they keep ending it on man, I need to see the next episode. But I need to stop recording for today. But I need to see the next episode. So, the next day, here I am, and M9 told Papa, they're getting married and they want to have a baby. We can't let that happen. 02 fought 8 of the 9, because she is one of the 9, was doing pretty well for an 8v1. And sadly, Kokudo and Mitsuru got their memories stolen. But there could be hope with Kokudo. She looked at the ring that they did not take from her, and she's like, sakura trees. And we kind of saw sakura trees, but it was a dead forest. Other than those two, our squad 13, they're in the Parasite camp, which is kind of just military camp, a futuristic military camp. Each squad gets one square room. That's really it. And it seems like there's some rebelling about to get ready. I don't know what they're going to do with this. I mean, Hiro seems to be finally going it's about time we finally take life into our own hands. It seems like I'm paraphrasing big time. But I don't know what they're going to do. And then on top of that, the council, the upper echelon, Papa, he's or they're we thought that they wanted humanity and apes to live together, and we went over to seal their surrender, but the Klaxosaur princess said no and killed our people, but our people tried to assassinate her. So the war between it's actually a war. It's not like these Klaxosaurs are random monsters that are trying to just kill people for the fun of it. It's actually this weird war going on, but we don't know why. And the Klaxosaur princess says that the upper council are fake humans, or they're wannabe. So I don't know. I just want to see this episode. I want to see if we get any more answers. Please. I just want some answers. There's so many questions. Lads, if you don't know the drill already, there's going to be a link in the description below. Check the link that works best for you to watch the reaction, because YouTube's copyright laws, or YouTube's copyright system is not good. I put an anime reaction up on the channel. Usually gets striked, and 3 strikes and the YouTube channel is deleted, so yeah. That's why anime reactions can't be on the channel. But the discussion can be, so when you're done with the reaction, come back for the discussion, because there are a lot of theorizing in there. That's probably the best part of doing this kind of stuff, so I'll see you on the reaction side, lads. Alright, so much was revealed. I got so much right, and I probably got a few stuff a little wrong, but let's focus on the cloning thing, where I was like, could they be clones? Woo! Man, I did not expect this episode to be a flashback episode. I mean, for the past few episodes, I've been saying, are we going to get any answers this episode? And I guess eventually we had to, but this is a great episode, by the way. I love that we got to see Dr. Franxx, his backstory, his youth, and he is not immortal. That's why he's the only super old guy, and that's why he's also a cyborg at this point, which is wild. So the ape organization, that's when they said we were hoping Klaxosaur and ape were gonna be together. They were hoping that because they are an organization. Why ape? because return to monkey. But yeah, so they like built up, or they dug up magma energy, which is the end all be all for energy. It's like the magic thing, which you see, I was making Man of Steel comparisons way back in episode 3 or 4 of this series, which I think it was the one with Mitsuru, where he went in with 02. I was saying, like, man, it kind of reminds me, like, digging up magma and, like, the earth becoming scorched. It's like Man of Steel. I was right, in a sense, because they said that they think it's the magma, but they're not sure. But nope, I'm fairly certain it's the magma. So yeah, by digging up the magma from the Earth's core, or, like, from deep within the Earth, they kind of just... By stealing Earth's life to put it into themselves, they were killing the Earth slowly. And not only that, when the Klaxosaurs came, like 20 years after they started doing this, they started nuking them, which scorched Earth. And man... So Dr. Franxx, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but he had a girl, he found a girl, she's also a scientist. He was so dense. That was kind of funny though. She's like, yeah, I asked him out to dinner. Guess it didn't go that well. She's like, yeah, I guess not. He's pretty dense. Or like, are you seriously this dense? And he's like, wait, it's me. Man. But yeah, Dr. Franxx, he helped the research to create immortality, but he was not into it. Like, as an atheist, he didn't believe that humans should reach immortality, which is kind of funny, because if you think about it, you would feel like an atheist would, or like at least like from some atheists that I've heard from, if you ask them, would you rather like have immortality or this kind of superpower? Like, from the atheists that I've heard from, they said they would rather have immortality because they don't believe in like a heaven or a life after death. Or yeah, I said that right. If they don't believe like in a life after death, then they would usually go with immortality because, like, you know, to keep living. But Dr. Franxx, he intrigues me in that sense, where he was not really into the idea, because that would be kind of like playing God, which actually is really cool. That's a really cool spin on the atheist trope in fiction. And yeah, he replaced himself with cybernetics in order to keep himself going longer. But he's not... Well, actually, I don't know if he's planning to live immortally through cybernetics, or if he's just trying to expand his life longer so he can get another peek at the Queen, or at least be there for 02. And it really can't be that long. So I believe the opening flashback was 2025. I missed it, but I think it was in the 2020s. Oh god, we're close. So in the 2020s was when they started the magma energy research, and then I believe in 2030 the Klaxosaurs came in. 2040, sometime between the 2030s and 2040s, Dr. Franxx lost his wife. And I was saying, what happened to this woman? As soon as we saw her, like when she's like, oh hello, my name is this, I'm like, why are they showing us this? It's either like she's someone that we know, like she's a clone, like maybe she's the female basis for all children, or something terrible happens to her, and was sadly the latter. So she was the first test subjects of the Franxxes that could bear children, but since she was going in alone, it just literally crushed her. And that sucked. I feel so bad for Dr. Franxx. Because I feel like he's the least evil of them all. Or of the adults. But he's done some pretty bad stuff. Like when the Klaxosaur Queen's like, oh, you've killed so many of my like my brethren. Yeah, but like, you know, you kind of started it as far as the context that we know. Maybe by digging up the magma, they disturbed the Klaxosaur life or something like that. But as far as we know, at this point in time, the Klaxosaurs kind of, sort of started killing off humans first. So in his case, it was self-defense. But yeah, he's put 02 through some terrible, terrible things. Where was I taking this? Oh yeah, he's not the most. You know what? He might be. He's pretty bad because of all the abuse he put 02 through, all that test subject and stuff. But at least he's likable. Other not like Papa, like the upper echelon. They're basically emotionless robots. But I love the idea of bringing in immortality. The whole thing with the Earth started to shut down because of the population overflow. So instead of stopping people becoming immortal, they stopped people having children, and they forced the immortality vaccine upon everyone to fix the population problem. And then the Klaxosaurs struck. They're like, all right, they can't breed, they can't drive anything to, they can't do anything to stop us. Now's the time. And then they're like, well, good thing Dr. Franxx is good at cloning. So yeah, it's been confirmed that, or I guess it's confirmed. Everyone is a clone. So all the children, they're clones, bred to have emotion. It's kind of funny they say that they need to have emotion, but the beginning of the series, they were like, you need to keep your head calm. You can't have any emotions running in through you. And like with the Franxx, wouldn't really work whenever they got a little too emotional. Well, if both of them were in it, like Ichigo, she was driving the Franxx in episode 2 by herself, but again, that was by herself. And then you have rage mode, but that would kill the rider, allegedly. But man, yep, Hiro and the squad, they went to go talk to Papa. They're asking for their freedom, and Papa said, after this, if this next mission goes well, you can have your freedom. Which basically means they're probably just gonna detonate their Franxxes. I don't think they're gonna kill them off. Like, they go, okay, cool. Like, I don't think the show's gonna do that in the sense of like, oh, they finished their last mission, Papa, okay, so just type this in. Oh no, it looks like 5 of the Franxxes are malfunctioning. Boom. I don't think they're gonna kill off the characters like that. But I do expect some of these characters to die in terrible ways because of Papa. But yeah, no, I know they're still kids, like they're still teenagers, but I do not trust that, like, oh yeah, for sure, trust. Next mission, you're done? Gotcha. I don't trust them. Like, there's no way because they're scared. Like, or, maybe it's a stretch to say that they're scared, but for this example to work, they're scared of, like, these kids, they're not immortal. They're going to bring back traditional human customs, like having babies, having emotions, finding happiness on your own. Wow. So like they're scared of like that coming back, and if more of the children rise up against Papa, then they have nothing. They can't defend themselves. And it's interesting that the children haven't like just caught on that they're aging into adults. Like, I guess that's how brainwashed cult they're like in. Because Dorme's like, how many Klaxosaurs do we have to kill to become adults? When Nana, well, they don't know about Nana, but like at least the viewers know that like Nana, the bald guy, they were children. Eventually, they aged into adults. They probably gave them the sterilization and immortality when they became like in their 20s or 30s. So I was right. I was right about that. Like, they probably, like, once the children get old enough, like maybe 18 or 20, maybe 18 is the max. They kind of like take them away. They disappear, and then 10, 20 years later, they come back as adults, unrecognizable, immortal, and emotionless. So, man, so many answers. This is such a great episode for revealing everything. Yeah, they abandoned childbirthing. They sacrificed the future generation to keep themselves safe, or to keep themselves alive. Yeah, cloning. I talked about that. The young Dr. Franxx, dude. The Queen. I guess that's the final big thing that I can talk about this episode. I'm trying to remember if anything else really happened that I haven't talked about yet. probably. Well, Mitsuru and Kokudo, they're kind of like getting back together. They try to like separate them, but fate's driving them back together. But they're kind of like, oh, it's kind of weird to think that we had this kind of thing together, don't you think? We don't even know each other. So like, yeah, it's kind of... But Futoshi, man, he loves Kokudo so much that he's willing to sacrifice his own happiness to ride with Ikino and to bring back Kokudo and Mitsuru together. Why is everyone in this series such a bro? Everyone is a homie. Like, Goto, #1 homie. Now Futoshi, #2 homie. Zorome needs some work. I mean, I still feel bad for him. Like, of everyone, he's drunk the most Kool-Aid when it comes to Papa and the adults, so I feel really bad for him. And I think maybe this episode finally opened his eyes to the fact they just don't care. I mean, I've been hoping they'd find that out soon. But yeah, so 02 grown a test tube. She is, in fact, semi-related to the Klaxosaur Queen. It all came back because I wanted to talk about that. So, or at least the Klaxosaurs in general. The Klaxosaurs came out of nowhere. Dr. Franxx said very early on in the beginning of this episode that he was always wondering what peak humans could be. And I thought that was, maybe that's a hint toward, like, they evolved too much, or like they gave someone too much immortality. I don't know. Or like something happened with magma energy. I thought that was just a hint in the sense of, like, I don't, like something. Humans evolved into gigantic dinosaur Klaxosaurs. But it's basically Pacific Rim in the sense that they came out of the ocean, I believe, for the magma energy. Well, at least in Pacific Rim, they came out of the ocean for no reason. This one, what drove them out of the ocean was their attraction to magma. So I guess that Klaxosaurs might have always just been on Earth. Maybe they were like feeding on the magma, like at the bottom of the ocean, like, you know, like. What's like, is this to say like 95% of the ocean is undiscovered? So maybe they were like just bottom feeding, they were chilling on the magma in the ocean. And then when Ape came, they sucked up all the magma from the bottom of the earth. Klaxosaurs came up like, hey, that's our food source. They started attacking for their food. But the Klaxosaur Queen, she's the only one of the Klaxosaurs that we've seen like her. Humanoid, and that's really it. So like she can talk, she can communicate telepathically, which is really cool. She has like these tentacle Dr. Octopus kind of things on her back. But like what's her deal? Like I'm fairly certain it's probably for food. Like I said before, like with the whole like Klaxosaurs came up because their food resource was getting taken away from them. But like, what is the Queen? It's such an interesting idea to bring this in. Like, instead of giant monsters go brr, it's giant monsters go brr for food, and they're led by a queen. 02 is her daughter, or 02 is her genetic clone, and possibly Dr. Franxx is the father. You know, he puts a little of his own DNA in there to make her half human, half Klaxosaur. That's his legacy. But how much of Dr. Franxx is mechanical? Of course his arm, because the Queen tore that off. That was violent. I thought she was going to bite it off, but no, she tore it off. That was terrible. So, like, is it... Like, what's the whole thing about the key? They keep saying the key. Like, the adults, they keep going like, oh, we have the second key. So is it like if they kill the Queen of the Klaxosaurs will look to 02. But we've never seen that happen before. And then what's with the whole thing of the Klaxosaurs have, was it the Y gene? The X gene? They have like the woman gene. Like, what's that whole thing? The chromosome. Like, what's that? Like, are they actually human? That's... They could just be monsters, right? They could be monsters. But I feel like they planted the XY chromosome gene in there this episode. They planted, like in episode 15, Doesn't that look human to you? Like when they split the cord open. So what are they? And this episode ended with Hiro and 02 hand in hand, and Hiro's like, "Yep, we've decided." So what have they decided? They're going to rebel? Or are they going to go, "Screw this mission. As soon as you give us authorization to be in our Franxx, we are zooming away. We are going to go join the Claxosaurs." I doubt they're going to join the Claxosaurs. Maybe make a third party. But if they do that, probably the 9 or one of the other squads will be sent out to kill them. But either way, like, the adults are going to try and kill Squad 13 because of this. Yeah, they're not going to let them have a thing outside of what they can't control, because they are super controlling. But yeah, man, I'm so satisfied with the answers we got here. I was kind of worried that they were pushing it off a little too late, that's not much left to go. There's still some questions, like what's the Claxosaur's real motivation? What's up with the XY genes? All that. Could Claxosaurs be clones of the princess? I don't know. So there's still some questions that need to be answered, but I feel like a majority of the questions, like what happened to the world, is this Earth, why are they fighting the Claxosaurs, all that stuff, they've been answered in very satisfying ways. I'm even more interested now to see what the next 5 episodes, because there's 24 episodes this series, 5 episodes left. Whew. I'm interested to see how they wrap it up and what they do with this, because I feel like there's a lot of cards on the table now. There's 3 parties. There's Squad 13. There's the Ape organization, and then there's Claxosaurs. What is going to happen? If you lads want to see my reaction to that, my discussion, and all that jazz, that jammy jazz, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like down below. Leave a comment. What did I miss this episode? And you know, that's it for this episode. I'll see you all next week for more Darling in the Franxx Thoughts.